What up, GM everyone?
GM Coder Dan.
Ain't no future. How you doing, man?
I'm doing well. Doing well. I've been obsessed with the cursor and v0.dev, but otherwise doing really well.
Yeah, man. How's the project going?
Well, now I have like 5 different projects I'm working on now, but
That's the way.
yeah, just like every time I have an idea, like let's write it down, or I'll on mobile put it into ChatGPT just to have it like kind of recorded the prompt, and it'll give me code and all that. And then when I get home, I'll put that prompt into either v0.dev or cursor. I've been doing more cursor, but this morning I was working on like a slight finance app for myself, like basically an
Mhm.
income statement where I could locally put in all the information, like expenses, income being made, so that I can get a detailed list of like trends of what I'm spending my money on and all this other stuff. So I was working on that with V0 Dev today and then moved it over to Cursor just now.
That's awesome. Yeah, I've heard like now's the time everyone's gonna be making their own software, the kind of personalized apps that you can make for your own, for your like tuned exactly to what you want. Oh yeah,
Yeah,
let's get the
it's
bot
exciting.
started. Thanks for
I
joining.
just have to start. Like I've been, Twan was telling me not to use Claude 3.7 for the whole time because I
Yeah,
would run out of credits. So I've been using Claude 3.5, which is Sonnet, which has been fine. But then I noticed today when I put in V0 Dev's code, Cursor was like, "Oh, this doesn't. There is no React 19. This code is referring to React 19. You need to React 18." I'm like, "Wait, but it was working perfectly on V0.
yeah, it'll do that. With Claude 3.7 is very like over eager, and it'll often just like, I don't know, it'll make stuff up, or it'll change a bunch of stuff that it doesn't really need to change. So yeah, for actual coding, I'm actually still using 3.5 because it just seems it's snappier. Might not be like as smart or eager, but it definitely does less damage, and it seems to be smarter, especially if you can, like, it really helps if you can feed it code, like if you know the docs or something like that you're trying to work with, that will help too.
Yeah, baby steps. I have to. We're getting to the point where I'll start adding documents and stuff like that. But yeah, it's been getting over the first humps of what I actually needed to know. Like, oh, I'm doing this in Node.js, so I need Node.js. And then
Yeah,
originally I was doing this all with VS Code and just copying the code over and then using terminal. And then Twan showed me Cursor where it's all in one, and it just blew my mind. So it's been really cool, like playing with it.
yeah, man, it's so fun. It's a pretty sick experience, honestly. You were working on one, or maybe multiple gotchi ones. You were working on the what was it, the 2048 game in with gotchis that looked really funny.
Yeah, so I stopped development on that because I got to a place where it wasn't broken. The wallet connect worked. They so basically I got it so that it would look to check if your wallet had an Aavegotchi in it, and if it did, you could play the game, and then you can add a
Nice.
username, and it would update to the leaderboard. So I got it to develop a difficulty setting so you could change it between easy, medium, and hard, and then a match history setting so that you could see all the matches and some stats on that. So that one, I guess I just need to play around with it a little bit more to refine it. But the UI was actually looking really good for that one. And then by request from One Third Nerd, he was saying we should get try to make like a Gotchi Double Dragon. So I've been playing with that. I have had
Mm,
way less success with that because it's a way more complicated game. This is
yeah.
actually the 2048. There's a video of me like kind of playing around with it. Um, yeah, so Gotchi 2048 in a good state. Got to play around with it more. Um, Double Dragon still kind of playing around with that. Like it's not. I got like one runnable app and it was just like a single screen with three platforms and you could jump up but there were no enemies, so all the other stuff has to be really tweaked out. And then yesterday I started the process of a very simple, well, two processes. A simple Aavegotchi poker game, which is come it turns out is a lot harder than I thought it was because I can't get it to give me good game logic. And then
Yeah.
a gotchi auto chess. So the auto chess I stopped last night before I went out. So it was like making all the code. I haven't actually tried to run it yet. But yeah, just trying to get like, here's the IP. I'm using my own gotchis. Let's see what we can build, and then I can start adding stuff. So for you, I have a question. Where's the best place for me to get all of the Aavegotchi assets in one place? So if I feed that, like if I save that locally and then feed it into Cursor and say, hey, these are the assets you're going to use for
Yeah.
any games I build, the style guide, all that stuff.
That's a great question. I've been thinking about this as well. I think what we need to do is like you can go. I mean, they're like the assets are on the wiki and everything, but they're not like packaged for an AI. So as I've been kind of going through this as well, trying to figure out like what's we can either make like an NPC, which I think is a little bit overkill. But I think the best place to start off probably would just be to have like an asset pack, like we have an Aavegotchi SDK, but I'm not. It hasn't been updated in a while, so that's on my to do list is to go through and make an Aavegotchi basically asset pack that will contain all the wearables and like the logic for rendering the gotchi and stuff. Like we have it out there, but it's I think it could be a little bit more centralized and better documented so that the AIs can really just it's so simple for them to do it. And then the next part is like the fetching of token balances and all that. That I think could also be you can use APIs out there like Alchemy and stuff, but they don't work that well because of our on Polygon because of the token double token issue that we kind of had. So we also need a little bit of special stuff for that until we're on base, and then everything should be like much better. So might some of that issue will go away when we're on base, which is going to be really nice.
Yeah, that'd be great to have. Like, Twan hooked me up. I haven't added it to Cursor yet, but like basically a document with the ABI calls and then another document
Yeah,
with the Aavegotchi smart contract functions. So I can, I guess, feed it in and then Cursor can interact from there. Also, Third
yeah.
Web didn't work for me. I tried the Third Web integration and eventually
Hmm.
it broke and it just would show the Third Web screen, but no clickable buttons for wallets. So I ended up using Wallet Connect and that worked pretty simply.
Yeah, that's another thing I think we could do is like an Aavegotchi kind of starter pack, like create React app Aavegotchi, and it would just have all the third web stuff basically done as like a template for you. That might be helpful for the AIs. I'm not really sure because they sometimes they don't like you'd have to explicitly tell it to use that, and then it probably would. But like third web is pretty easy to implement. But I was doing some stuff earlier with Claude, and it like all the documentation was on the internet, and I was even telling it to go to that page, but it still kept using the wrong stuff. So I eventually had to break my vibe and actually like go in and just start coding it properly. I spent probably 30 minutes on something. I was like, come on, man, just it's like this is not that hard to do. Like it took me about 10 minutes of actual coding once I decided to go in and code it. But it just couldn't get it right. It just kept trying different things and rewriting stuff. I was like, just stop.
Yeah, it's interesting how these things do this, right? So yesterday, I like we have the Dower coming up soon, and I fed it basically the proposals and then some of the Discord chat. and I was like, hey, give me a summary of each proposal with the data that's necessary and important to it. So first I put the links to the proposals. It gave me the wrong proposal summaries. Then I gave it the very specific screenshot of the proposal. It gave me the right summary but the wrong quorum information, and I just kept having to feed it. And like, you have the website. Why are you giving me anything other than what's here on this web page? It was driving me nuts. And then Cursor has a way of like, it gets into these loops where it's like correcting itself, and I'm just sitting there like for 10 minutes watching it like,
Yeah.
oh, you found a new issue. Let's try this. Let's try this. It's like, oh god, just work.
Yeah, totally. It's I think the best spot to be in is knowing how to code, and then like when you get tired or something, you just try to let the AI do it, and you go to the bathroom and make a coffee and come back and it's done. Like that's magic. But I don't think it's totally replaced coding yet, unless, unless maybe OpenAI O1 Pro will does that, or something really advanced. For now, I haven't found that it's totally replaced coding, but it makes things much faster.
It is very moron friendly though, because whenever there's an error, I just like screenshot the console and just drop it in. I'm like, help! And it's literally all I type, and it just does the thing. So it's I'm slowly. The good thing about this is I learned very basic coding like a long time ago, but this is allowing me to work this way to sort of reverse engineer in ways, like to look at code and like, oh, okay, that makes sense. That's why. Oh, we need these dependencies, and starting to get the ground level of understanding all this. So then I'll start playing around maybe with more like actual coding to kind of supplement my learning. Fun stuff though.
Oh
Easy,
yeah.
simple Aavegotchi games. That's what I'm gonna aim for.
I can't wait to let's get these games up on the games page. We'll get some community games. I have a whole section for vibe coding games, and there's not really rewards or anything, but someone comes on. We were streaming with Kagi the other day, and after our stream, he was on there for another hour and a half, 2 hours, just like clicking around the site. So it's kind of cool. If we had five more games, he might stay on even longer and be like, "Oh, this is fun. This is cool," and just stick around even longer. But I'm really glad to see that you're branching out and doing some coding. It is really fun. I encourage everyone listening, like, take a weekend and just play around with the stuff, because it's totally approachable. It really is. It's not easy, but it's fun. It's a good way to spend an afternoon for sure.
But
Yeah,
to do something that's like not really good is not hard. You can do something pretty
Yeah,
easily,
yeah,
which is my experience this weekend. What is it, Dan? You mentioned it last weekend, and this was my first weekend trying Vercel's uh,
yeah. V0.
v0.dev. Highly recommend. I mean, you can basically deploy a website or I suppose a DApp or something pretty easily. I put s- maybe not even an hour into it this weekend. Just got a little window of free time. Was like, I've got to try it out, see what this is. And admittedly, it looks intimidating. Like as a non-coder,
Mm,
it might throw you off. But anybody listening, honestly, you can just go in and prompt just like you do with Chat GBT. And like at
mhm.
the end of the day, you end up with a website to deploy. It's kind of insane.
yeah. And I asked it. I was like, look, I don't know anything. You need to give me step by step instructions on all the basics. Like, so when I was doing this with ChatGPT, it was able to do it, and it was just like, open terminal, and then we're gonna install Node.js, and it gives me all the links when I had to like set up an Alchemy account, a cloud account, get a Etherscan account so that I can have like whatever APIs I need. Because at one point I also created a trading bot. I actually got it up and running, but the transactions kept failing and it was a gas optimization thing. And as I tried to fix it, I just broke the whole thing. So I have to go back. I've given it a couple days because that thing was driving me nuts trying to like work it out. But being very direct and be like, look, I'm not gonna lie to you. I don't know what I'm doing. So work with me, hold my hand. And it did.
Yeah, it's really we're at a breakthrough moment here. definitely spend some time exploring all the tools out there. Like Piglet mentioned, Claude Code. I haven't gotten yet. So I'm using. I don't actually have a Claude account. I need to get a U.S. phone number, I guess, and then can sign up for it. I'm just using Open Router. Anyone here using Open Router yet? Pretty convenient. You can actually top up your API keys with crypto, and you just use one API key, and instead of having like 20 API keys for OpenAI and Claude and all these like and Google Gemini and all these different services, you can just use Open Router. And I don't know if they take a cut or not. They probably do, but it's like very small. But it's just so convenient. You can also chat with a bunch of the models in Open Router. Like if you just go over here, you can chat with all the new models without having to like go over and sign up for Google Gemini or Claude or whatever. So that's pretty sick. It doesn't have like the latest stuff. Like I don't think it has GPT 4.5, but I mean, it's got maybe it does. I don't know, but it's got most of the good stuff. Is it really made by the founder of OpenSea? Yeah, I didn't know that. That's wild. But that's the cool thing. You can just top it up with crypto, and then because once you start working on like I'm trying to make a thing that actually uses AI in the product, and I need an API key. So it's kind of useful, and also things like Klein is another IDE. Like it's apparently more advanced than like Cursor and Windsurf, but that one also takes an API key. So if you want to actually burn through money with asking ChatGPT prompting stuff, you can use Klein. I want to talk briefly Golden Cross. You right before the hangout, you sent a very uh, interesting looking photo here. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yeah, absolutely. Let me drop it here again so everyone can see. It's just a teaser, get everybody in here and show a bit behind the curtain what we've been working on. And it's totally related to what we're already talking about with AI. We're really encouraging the Pixelcraft team to embrace tech, all these latest tech developments. And we've been doing that for a while, but I would say recently, especially in earnest. So shout out to Stellar. I don't know if he's in the room right now, but obviously on the left, you may recognize that's his work. And he's working on a bunch of new power ups and potions for formerly known as Great Battle Simulator. We're now calling it Lick Invasion. And I guess obviously, if you look at the side there, nobody on our 3D dev team created those images. That's Stellar talking to AI and generating, feeding those concept arts he designed into AI, and the results are quite nice. I think they're actually gorgeous. Now that said, there are always limitations to this stuff, or they're still early in the ball game. So I want to show you like what Robson, our team lead on the 3D design, came back with, and they worked together throughout the week. And what you can see here is a side by side of the one on the right, the very complex looking one, is the polygon heavy version that was produced by AI. And again, great for concepting. It looked beautiful, but the final version, the version that Robson actually just whipped up in about 30 minutes after seeing that concept, is way lighter, way more ready for WebGL, and I think probably 100 times less polygons in there. So you can see the difference there. So it's really interesting. This is kind of some of the stuff the team's working on behind the scenes the last week. We have a lot of items we want to have in Lick Invasion. We want to make sure that you guys have a lot of options when you go in to do power ups. Now, they may not all be live on the proof of concept first release, but we're building these out. And I think there's a list of, Dan, do you know off the top of your head? It's like 20,
There's about
30.
dozen, yeah, two or three dozen that kind of what I consider like basic power ups that would be cool to have just around the map, and
Yeah.
that you could also like bring into the game. But yeah, I mean this process is saving. It took them a little bit of time to spike it out and like see which products we could use. But I think the flow that we settled on is Stellar is making it's kind of he you can upload an image into scenario.com, I think it's called, and that will then generate the image, and then you can take that over. I mean pretty much anything can generate an image. I'm not sure what the special sauce with scenario is. I guess it creates the 3D looking image, which is what we see on the right there. But then he took it. You take that 3D looking image and you drop that into Golden Cross. Do you remember the name? It was I'm blanking on which name Robson is using, but I'm searching the chat here. One
I was
was
just gonna.
Hyper 3D, but
There's a
I don't think that was
couple.
it.
Rodin is one of them. I think the one we're looking at here was produced by Rodin. I could be wrong on that. They went through a bunch, but
Yeah,
Robson was recommending Rodin at one point late in the conversation, and I think that's the one we're looking at here. Scenario is really cool because they do a little bit of everything for like once we like let's say you're thinking about making a vibe coding a Aavegotchi game. They do everything from like isometric icons to character art to even like in Unity, like you need like what do you call that? The skybox, like the
hmm
literal sky of your 3D world. They can they do a little bit of everything. So it's kind of a one stop shop for everything. But yeah, I'm pretty sure Rodin is the one that Robson was most bullish on for the 3D stuff. And that said, great for prototyping. It's going to save them a ton of time. The
yeah.
team's going to save a ton of time, and it's pretty exciting in that sense because visually you're like, oh, I get it. It looks great. You just got to reduce the polygon count by about 100-fold.
And I think this
Imagine like
also,
6 months from now, it's going to be like way smarter. Maybe
yeah,
maybe next week. Who knows?
yeah, and it's also cool because like the when we eventually do start getting to UGC and allowing people to create assets in the Gotchi verse, we kind of already will have a flow that we can share with people. Like here's how we recommend you make these assets.
Yeah. I mean, look at this next one here I'm about to drop. This shows this is the end result, and AI aided in this whole thing, and it's in the shop. And like, how sick does that look? And like,
Yeah,
Stellar, Robson, Igor, they all work together on this, and then like a lot of this comes in real quick because of AI. I mean, that final push. So pretty crazy. We have a ton of potions, ton of upgrades. The work on Gotchiverse, like having it go live not too long ago, we are working through this current sprint that's just kicking off. Is a lot of the bugs that you guys have shared, we've discovered. That was super helpful, and I'm glad we put it out early and got you guys to give the feedback, especially like Hardcore and Graham and a couple others. You guys have been really like oversharing and in the right way, like in the best way. But there's certain parts of the team that are very busy, like Stellar, prepping for the actual like Lick Invasion Great Battle Simulator. So very, very excited to get that out to you guys. And I'll just give you another look here. Here's more of the inventory section, showcasing like the speed nectar, and we got the licks back from SFA. Like we inherit everything that we learned from SFA, all the balancing. But then there's like spooky juice. There's like all this new stuff. So yeah, it's gonna be really, really cool to start implementing everything. We also one little update here on the 3D side. Uh, this is also a Robson thing here. You guys recognize this lick from Gotchi Guardians, and we're trying to unify our brand and our 3D elements. So the SFA lick is not making it into Lick Invasion. Instead, you're going to see the licks from Gotchi Guardians making its way into Lick Invasion in the Gotchi verse. So we kind of get, yeah. I think we're a little early to have like multiple versions of a Goomba and
Right.
a Koopa Troopa, right? We need to have like one dominant aesthetic. So yeah, pretty bullish on all of that. That's some of the stuff the 3D team's been working on. The design team, it's coming together quite nice.
Yeah, I'm
Always
really
like
really
people.
excited to see that kind of progress. I've been kind of pushing everyone on the team like let's like use more AI, figure out how to let's we're kind of a smaller team now, so we gotta make up for that in just terms of productivity and like using what's out there. Because the cool thing about all this is and tech in general is that everything is getting better. So you just ride that wave. It's really really exciting from where I'm standing.
Yeah, and like the AI aside, like some of that stuff had to happen. We grew probably too fast, too early, and
Yeah,
a lot of talent on the team that are very talented people that we just simply couldn't either find the work for or couldn't support. But I want to reassure everybody. I would say the team right now is clicking at in a way that maybe just wasn't possible for a remote team to do when we were scaled at, 50% larger than what we are now, or whatever it was. We're at a really cozy spot. Everybody's working closely, working hard, working inspired. It's really nice. So we're feeling good over here.
wanted to shift to a little bit of Guardians, and we can talk about the recent browser release. And we did a nice stream with Kagi, which is up on YouTube now, looking at the analytics for Gotchi Guardians and just the Discord. Quite a few new friends coming in playing Gotchi Guardians. Really, it seems like everyone's like really enjoying the browser release. There are bugs. There's things that kind of unfortunate that, but also great that Slama was at GDC this week, so he wasn't fixing bugs and stuff like he normally would be. But we got pretty much all the bugs sorted and they'll be coming in the next release. But overall, I think I was pretty happy with the release. Like we were able to showcase it with Kagi. We've had some other shout outs from other kind of influencers and friends. So what are people thinking? You guys enjoying the Gotcha Guardians release so far?
Yeah, I've been playing it pretty much every day during my morning stream. I mix it with that Reckless and a couple other games. Uh, I haven't clipped any of it yet because it's me. It's like I'm talking in a hangout, and they're usually talking about conspiracy theories or other crazy stuff. So I'm planning on doing some streams where I can just sit down. I might mix some coding in, like do some coding, take a break, play some Gotcha
Yeah,
Guardians, and then I can cut stuff up from there.
yeah, that's a great idea. I was thinking of doing like a stream or a session, and then we ended up having to do this. Got the opportunity to do this stream with Kagi, so that kind of took over. And I also got kind of sick last week, but yeah, I think Guardians and vibe coding is a great combination. And yeah, that was a 4 hour stream. It was really cool to see him. We were taking notes on all the areas where he got confused or was like things weren't working. So that was really helpful stream for us. After Jesse and I left, he went Kagi kept on going for like 2 more hours, just looking through, getting excited about the Gotchi points campaign, being like how earning badges and Gotchi Guardians, like pretty much everything we've been working on. He was really enjoying, and he called the Gotchi verse. He's like, "This is my home, guys. This is my metaverse. Like I want to hang out here." So it was really positive. If you haven't taken it's a long stream. We're gonna be putting out some clips from it next couple days. But yeah, he had a lot of good things to say.
Yeah, and it was really cool because he knows Aavegotchi so well, and at the same time, time flies. It'd been well over a year, probably almost 2 years since he's like really deep dived into the ecosystem, and a lot's changed. Like we've shipped a lot, so as a community. So he was shocked to see games like Gotchi Battler, like Dropped, like Stratagotchi, all there in the game center. Um, the refurbished Bazaar, and there were lessons learned there. Like it was good. I was glad to see him. Like he definitely recognized like aesthetically it's improved, and at the same
Yeah.
time like feeling his way around a bit, and that first time user experience almost like being relived. Where he's like, wait, where'd my like he struggled petting his Gotchi, for example. I was like, oh, like it's cool how you hover over a Gotchi and the clothes disappear, so you see the core asset, the Gotchi. That was the idea. But you watching him, you realize like, oh, he that throws him off. Like he hesitates to click on it and pet,
Hmm.
and he tried to click on like the little talk bubble telling you to pet it, but that doesn't do anything right now. Maybe we should fix that. And then he's got to go hunt for this little pink button in the lower right. That's just one example of like where you're like, oh, like what's obvious to us and we thought we covered everything. You fix one thing and it opens up another thing. So there's a lot to learn from that 4 hour, and that's why Dan said we opened up a doc. We did a kind of call to action for the entire team, regardless of position on the team, to watch that 4 hour stream and contribute to a working doc where we all call out like all the things that can be improved. And probably was overdue, but it was really cool. Just having him show up and record the whole thing, it kind of made it like, oh, like, and he's brutally honest, right? He'll be like, I'm frustrated, I am lost, or like, oh, this is awesome, I love it, and he'll like go from one to the other in a 10-second window. So it's really useful. That's what you need actually. So it was a great 4 hours. Encourage everybody to watch it, and if you guys want to spin up a doc as the DAO and give us feedback, I mean, don't overcomplicate it, but we'd love to hear your guys' notes or feedback. And sometimes a Google Doc's the easiest way to do that. But we are on it. We are definitely thinking about that user experience right now.
Yeah, we really, I feel like we're getting basically that stage of just polishing now. The basic products are kind of there. We just need to make sure that the user flow now is ideal and people aren't getting lost along the way, and just having friction and kind of just bouncing out, which is not an easy thing, but we're definitely taking steps here.
Want to give a shout out to one of the main guys that's helping with that polish. Eris is in the chat here. I see Pixel Lab, the tech lead here at Pixelcraft. If you guys don't know, like he is so hands-on, so at the center of shipping everything for many, many years now, from Gotchiverse 2D. He was the core tech lead for Gotchiverse 2D, and he still is on Gotchiverse 3D. He's just been great. And so a little backstory here, kind of interesting. He's been working like 6 days a week, if not more, for I don't know, way too long. Let's say that, and he got to go on a requested break, a little personal leave, finally for about 5 days. And we said, "Hey, do it. You need it, but like, let's ship a real raw version of Gotchiverse 3D for everybody to start battle testing while you're gone." And so, immediately we knew it was raw, and like all this feedback came in immediately within the first 24 hours and thereafter. And there's other people on the team working on it, Jerome, Dan, myself. Like there's a lot of people on it, but at the end of the day, Eris is critical, and he was having some well earned leave and rest, and so he came back this week. And just shout out, he crushed it. I think the first 24 hours back, he took care of like I don't know a dozen bugs or something stupid. He was like definitely working inspired and fresh, and you could tell the break did him good and was probably well overdue, honestly. So shout out to Eros and just doing incredible work on Gotchi Days, coordinating with everybody and really leading the charge. And so that was really cool to see. So if you wonder why, like, oh, I reported that on Monday and why isn't it done on Thursday? It's like, well, we work in sprints, and also just the lead of the whole project was he shipped it so you guys could get it, and he knew when he comes back from break there's going to be a pile of bugs and discoveries waiting for him, and so he embraced that, and it was pretty cool to see. So um yeah, feeling really good about where the team is and looking forward to the next sprint. Yeah, very, very based, very, very Chad.
Yeah, we haven't talked about this Orium news yet on the Hangout. That Orium put out a notice probably a week ago, saying that they're going to be sunsetting the Orium Marketplace and the Aavegotchi Petting Service on May 16th. So that's a little less than 2 months away now. Well, we should be on base by then, so uh, any petting will be on base at that point, which I think I'm pretty sure, unless there's like a network spike, petting is even cheaper on base than it is on Polygon. So that's good news. But yeah, I see people talking about who's going to AI code the next petter. It's not it's This is honestly one of the easiest things to do. Like when you kind of know what tech you want to use. If you want to use like an Open Zeppelin Defender or like a cron job, you can also do that. You can like there's so many ways to set it up. It's such an interesting thing to do. Like a great kind of beginner project that I would also just recommend. Why rely on someone else's petter? Get out there and do it yourself. Kind of fun. But yeah, there's been some interesting ideas from people about. Uh, it's never something that Pixelcraft, like we're never gonna actively promote like a petter. Really, we'll put it on the website, but not telling people to use it just because there's still the idea of hand petting your gotchi, which I think is a fun idea. But there's the gotchi petting that's going to be going down on the Orium side, and then the wearable rentals. That's another thing that's on the Orium site, and I believe there's some talk about a couple people have a proposal to implement that into the Aavegotchi DApp. So those are kind of the two main things related to Orium that we'll finally get the Gotchi wearable rentals in the Aavegotchi DApp, which will be cool. And then petting, it's going to be every man for themselves again for a little bit until someone sets up a petting business.
I mean, on the lighter side, that makes the next season of rarity farming a little more spicy. Where the real
Yeah, no
petters
doubt.
at? A little dynamic. Good to see people in the chat, Schnitzel and others playing Gotchi Guardians. Do you guys, I mean, it's been so nice. Like almost anytime I hop in, there's at least one other human waiting for me to actually play. I'm like, I love web version.
Yeah,
This
man.
never happened with the download version. And now we've got, it's early days, but we've got a player base. We've got like nights like tonight, everybody can get together and play some Gotchi Guardians.
The only thing I want to get with this web version is right now it still loads too slowly, and
Mm.
that negatively affects our ability to promote the game on things like ads. So we're gonna try to get the game even like load even snappier, so that there's a potential. We have all this like Twitter ad money that we don't really. There's no good reason to use it until we actually have something that's going to convert people. So I'm really trying to spend some of that ad budget on Gotchi Guardians, and I play with it for a little bit. And we got like 20 people clicking on the website, but they didn't really stick around because of the loading time. So that is something
Yeah.
we're very aware of. Trying to, if we can unlock that, then I think there'll be massive growth incoming.
Yeah, the good news was we got clicks right away. I mean, I think you put it up for like an hour,
Yeah.
and the clicks were coming in. The problem was
Totally.
just landing. I mean, the loading time was kind of brutal. So between that and like a landing page that just didn't have enough content to keep them there waiting for this 2 to 3 minute load is tricky. It's tricky right now. But first web release of many, I'm sure. So we'll get it down. Yeah, like Thrax is saying, there's like workarounds where you basically create content to hold them while you wait for the real content, like a mini game or just information about the game. So that's the tricky part. There's more to do on that side. But yeah, I think we didn't talk about last week. We should have gave them a shout out. DAR Open Network, it's their first time supporting Aavegotchi games. Not sure if anyone's familiar with them, but they're DAR Open Network. They're like an AI powered gaming platform, chain agnostic. They go by Delarnia for the gaming portal. So they've still got us. I just took this screenshot a few minutes ago. They're hosting our game at the top.
Yep.
We've seen some players coming up from Delarnia. I think we got a big spike from Kaggy.
Yeah.
Just anytime.
Yeah, we got a lot of people coming over from YouTube. YouTube's
Yeah,
the king still. I fully agree with Kaggy. He's always saying YouTube is the really where you want to like make your content base. TikTok and X are nice for big one-offs, but really the long-term strategy is still YouTube. Yeah, we've gotten
And
almost 100 views on GotchiGuardians.com from YouTube so far.
yeah, it all adds up. And then I was going to share a couple pictures here. It was GDC, and of course, we had a presence there. We were in San Francisco this week. We sent the Guardians team in particular. So if you guys don't know their faces, probably do know Slama's for sure. But here is Slama with Ola, the project manager for Gotchi Guardians is Ola. Jason Slama is the director. And then to their left there, we've got our friends from Andromeda. So you guys might remember Andromeda from a DAO call a month or two ago. And they met Showside at GDC just the other day. So they're busy. The focus is distribution, publishing.
I don't know if people are that familiar with. I mean, I know I wasn't when these guys came on the DAO call probably a couple 2 months ago, 3 months ago. We were all kind of getting to know them a little bit, but I mean the background, especially the guy on the left, VJ.
Yeah.
That guy is a beast. Like
In the blue
he
blazer. Yeah.
yeah, he was like the former head of what was it, Universal? He was like head
He was
of
like,
distribution at Universal.
yeah, he was like, I think at least VP level. I could be messing it up. At least VP at Universal for 30 plus years in the industry, still in the industry, obviously. And their Andromeda is very focused on like Web3 gaming going to consoles, going to PC, going like multi-platform. So he's a big fan of Guardians. We kind of won him
Dude, they
over,
love
and
the game.
yeah, they get it. So they had some really productive talks, and there was some talks leading up to that, to the meeting face to face. So things are going well, and I think Andromeda might end up becoming a really good partner. We'll have to wait till the ink dries, but I think those guys are serious, dead serious about what they're doing,
Very serious.
and and they recognize game there with Guardians. So they're having a great time. They're still there. They're doing the whole thing, like pre-parties to after parties. So been really good. And nice to see Olo over there. She flew all the way over from Europe. So she
Yep.
made the trip.
Yeah, I'm
So,
sure that was great for them to finally get some FaceTime.
yeah, they've built so much together over the last year and a half with Guardians. So just really, really cool to see that. So yeah, get to share some of the Guardians team, Pixelcraft. Here's another shot just for fun. You guys know Slama has a sense of humor. Comes across in his game. He is having a
He
little
said he was
fun at
getting
GDC.
people were playing it on the floor. We're gonna get a full breakdown from him. He's been when you're at IRL events, you try not to be hanging out in Discord too much because you're actually delivering value IRL. So we're gonna get the full breakdown from him uh, next on our sync next week. But yeah, he said people were playing the game on the floor and having a good time. So that's what you want.
Yeah, focused on feedback, first time user experience,
Yep.
and just trying to get good shoes because he said he was doing like 20,000 steps a day. He was like, oh my God, that's conference life. So yeah, it's going good. Generally speaking, the reports are very positive.
Yeah. Overall, pretty good week in Gotchiverse. I was pretty happy with how things went last week. And gift side, I haven't dropped the post here,
Hmm.
but went to bed yesterday being like, we're probably gonna hit 1 million on the gifts, and then yeah, wake up today literally 999,009. What is it? And 900. I think that's what that is. Just come on. But yeah, we got 69 sticker and GIF uploads, and we're about to break 1 million views on the GIFs, averaging right now about 50,000 views per day. So pretty happy with how that's going. Uh, Still, I'm seeing the GIFs all over X. Still not enough. We need more visibility, but we're definitely getting there. We're getting uh, our kind of entourage of GIFs put together. We got all sorts of GIFs out there, and even more still coming in the pipeline. Zbot is leading on that, crushing it. These GIFs, I'm so happy with the progress on those.
Some alpha, we're trying to anticipate and get ahead of things. So if you guys have other ideas similar to like May the 4th be with you, let us know. Like we need some lead time to develop these. We want to be, present for certain holidays or certain events, especially online ones. But that's one we've identified as like, if we're ideating right now actually. So if you're a Star Wars fan and an Aavegotchi fan, this is a good chance for you to share some thoughts or ideas around what would be a strong, well-performing May the 4th gift. April 20, yeah, get you. That's another one. April Fools. Yeah. Well, the first step is identifying the holiday. Then the next step is like how to make the gift like a hit on that day. Because these are competitive days, but it's also a great chance for us to stand out or grab new eyes.
Yeah, we can do something for 420. Get the little pump outfit out.
bring out the pump.
Zbot, you taking notes?
Yeah, the little pump shades. There's so many type of 420 celebrators. Honestly, can't tell. It could be the loud Zagatu you just shared. He could be just as down as Little Pump. You never know. You never know. Oh, is Little Pump healthy now? He's all straight edge. I can't keep up. But don't you think this 1 million views, Dan? It's gonna cross in like the next hour. Like we are
Well,
really
yeah, no, we've crossed it. It uploads. It updates once a day, around usually around 11 my kind of 11 a.m. So I'm coming on around 10:30,
oh
11 is when they roll the new view count. So tomorrow it'll be 1,040,000 probably. It's always lower on weekends too. If you look at the chart, the first time that happened, I was like, "Oh, like what happened? Why the views go down?" But it's
right. Is it a
basically
bad
every
day?
yeah, like what happened, or is it over? Did Giphy stop promoting us, or what's going on? But now it's like every weekend the views kind of consistently go down, but you can see the overall trend is up.
It's a great looking trend. I mean, I don't know what to compare it to, but I'm like, these things are doing really good. Let's let's
Yeah,
keep
I
this
mean,
trend going forever.
yeah, I'm getting better and better at like looking at trying to tag things properly and just like our 10 more than 10% of our views are just this one, the Spider-Man pointing gif. I
Which
keep
is
like
not, go
yeah,
ahead. I
it's
didn't expect that.
right. Apparently when you search blame, like it'll tell you what it's like highest ranked for. So apparently blame and also like Spider-Man meme, it was also ranking well for that. So it's a fun little game to like look at what other gifs are doing and then see, how can uh we use their same keywords, or like it's a very intellectual game. So I something I enjoy. So yeah, if you go to Spider-Man meme right now on Giphy, like scroll down a little bit and we're right there. Same with if you go to bushes, I think bushes, like we're right at pretty close to the top. It varies, but yeah, pretty fun little game.
That bush one's such a nice design. Do you think it
Yeah.
matters if like if I'm lazy and I just want to fire up a quick reply guy strategy with the GIF, I will just type Aavegotchi or quick recently used and just, all the Aavegotchi stuff's loading there and I click one. But if I like have a little more time on my hands, I don't know. I think it matters. I'll be like, I'll type bushes or I'll type
Hmm.
do it or whatever the like Spider-Man. And then I'll scroll a bit just to make sure like the algorithm is like, oh, when they type Spider-Man, they like to use the Gotchi one. Do you think
Right.
that matters? If everybody here does that, does it
I don't
move the
know.
needle? We
Maybe
nobody knows, right?
it's a total black box. They don't really give us any more info than like they're not. It's not like Google where they tell you everything. Like this person, their eyeballs were looked at your GIF for 0.1 seconds. Like they don't give you that kind of information.
Mm, yeah,
But maybe, probably, I guess it can't hurt. I love
can't
this GIF
hurt,
face.
but
It's awesome.
that's really good face. And it's the I think that's I mean it could be anybody's, but it definitely Stellar has a Gotchi like that with the sushi knife and maybe it's Phase's Gotchi. That would make more sense.
But yeah, we were talking. Still haven't pulled the trigger on it yet. But this idea of doing a kind of a GIF views campaign, impressions, that we get do like a bounty for getting a certain number of views, like 50K or 100K on a post on X that uses the GIF. I think I was gonna ask in the future about it. I mean, do you guys think that reply guy strategy, or like is still relevant right now on X, or it could be on Farcaster or any other network? Because that's something I still got in the back of my head. I'm like, it kind of be fun to see who can get a certain like 100K views on a gotcha GIF. I don't think we've gotten that yet.
Yeah, like what's a good stretch goal? 50K might be too easy. Like,
Yeah, I mean, if you reply early to like an Elon Musk post, I feel
That's
like
what I've been trying
100K
to do.
views is like pretty easy.
Yeah, I've been experimenting with that when I have free time, just using the
Yeah.
GIFs and dropping them on bigger accounts. I think what would be cool, maybe an easy little thing to do is use give away some gotchis, like, oh, we're doing a bounty like that's on X, use our gifts, and then I don't know
Hmm.
how you verify this though, like to see who wins, because it'd be good to do it amongst gotchi gang, but if you open it up to other people, then I think we can get eyes that normally aren't on the project to start looking, and then you can
Yeah.
open the bounty up to like Web3 in general, like to give away a gotchi or a few gotchis for the people who, top five or whatever.
Yeah, I get. Yeah, it comes down. Part of it is like, how do you verify the impressions and who got the impressions first? I think that I was looking at this platform called WAP the other day. That I think they might have something like that, but I haven't looked much deeper into it. Like, it's not really made for Web3, but it's like you can run these kind of campaigns on it, and they tie into your social metrics. But
Yeah.
yeah, because I guess if there's like three content creators competing, it's hard to really prove who got 100K views or whatever first. Or I guess you could prove easily who got the most views, but I don't know. I don't want to base it totally just on that, because if they have enough time, you could also like bot that kind of stuff, I think.
Yeah, this is true. Yeah, there's also Hootsuite, I think, is one of them, because I was making a ambassador, like a proposal for an ambassador program for someone, and doing that, it was like I was doing all this research, and it was like Hootsuite is good for checking, engagement from tweets, like to be able to like
Hmm.
see analytics and then kind of be able to tell, hey, are they botting, are they not, like. But if you're doing this with many tweets, it could be a pain in the butt.
That was for other people's tweets or for your own? So I've
For
used
other
Hootsuite before. It was like it felt very archaic, but when I was using it, it was like it's one of those like 2008 kind of softwares that they never really updated, I feel like. But maybe it's been a few years since I opened it.
Yeah, I haven't played with it, but from the research I did, it said that you can look at other people's tweets. The use case was like checking on your competitors' tweets to see engagement and kind of
Yeah.
compare strategies and approaches to it.
Yeah, do some research into it. I'd love to get now that we got a nice variety of gifts. It would just be great to start getting, like, we're not getting any traffic directly from like Giphy.com. I am looking into that to see if are people somehow discovering Aavegotchi from Giphy. I don't think they are yet. I'm not sure if they ever will, but I think the main arena is the social media. So it would be cool to start getting the gifts out there more, and just like raising that visibility of like, what are these cute little ghosts, like what are these things? Any news from Battler, or do we have Bin Laden on the call? It's been, or anyone from Dropped? It's been a little bit since we've had any updates from Dropped or Strategachi. But yeah, Battler, yeah.
A vibe coding uh, game jam here in the very near future with Base and Third Web. Two projects we're literally like elbow to elbow with. So that starts March 23rd. That's today. Maybe we're not too late, but if anybody wants to mess around with that, even myself, I'm thinking like, what could we do to be present, at least show up? And it would be in general,
Yeah.
good that we as a community start making a conscious effort to engage with, follow, react to anybody that's building on base. So I'm trying to do this myself, and I think if everybody on this call shows up on socials and engages with base builders and base projects, and does the reply guy strategy or whatever it is that makes sense for you, um, that's going to reap like very good dividends for Aavegotchi, as people will notice us when we land in the next couple of weeks. So we don't want to go in just totally cold, right? Like, might as well start making friends
Yeah,
and reaching out to people there. So that's the call to action for me for the week for anybody
that's
that
a great one. Yeah, I think
feels so
that
inclined.
should be very doable to put together a little experience. I might even put some time into this. Like, if we get multiple Gotchi games submitted to B3 in this period, that would be pretty sick. I know
Like I see,
Slick is also working on a new one.
yeah, we could brainstorm on the call. Like Slick's in here, Slick's doing cool stuff. I see Friendless Summer in here, and like I always think back to, this is years ago now, but like the start on like a bunch of lore that Friendless Swimmer was writing with a lot of you and did the voiceovers. Um,
Yeah,
maybe there's a vibe coded like, choose your own adventure or something. I don't. There's like so many cool things that we could make a reality during this move to base, and so like content is king, and we could have a lot of fun on this move. Let's not like just make it like, oh, we migrated the bazaar. Like, that's important. That needs to happen, but it's also an opportunity to have like a lot of creative fun and reinvigorate our creative juices. So shout out to everybody on that.
yeah, it's a great call out. Get some get your hands in some AI coding. Maybe earn some B3 bounties. Should be a good time. Oh, the GIF. There it is, sir.
Okay.